Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with the Real JavierNovoaii channel, a platform, and a modality where we apply the principles of interiorism to living free. And there's a lot of expansion going on with our channel, guys. So just in the beginning of this, I wanted to ask you something. What we're going to be teaching in the videos when we come up to actually business and entrepreneurship and crafting your own cash machine that is going to be a major component in getting you free. One of the primary principles is any business or stream of income, you want to make that pay for itself. You don't necessarily always have to make a profit, but you want it to pay for itself. And that's indeed always been our philosophy here on this channel. And until recently, this channel's been zero budget. And the money that I make on coaching calls is basically what I use to make these videos possible. But we haven't really been able to invest in tech or equipment or anything like that. We want to do that so that we can get this message out to more people. And so I ask you from our subscribers, do you find value in these videos? And for many of you, it may be no. For many of you, it may be yes, you find value in these videos. So I ask you, would you be willing to donate $1 to the channel? Now, I'm not asking you to give us $5 or $1,000, although if you could, that would be awesome. And for maybe some of our listeners who do have resources and you want to help this process of helping people get free, I'd encourage you to do that. But any of you can help us out with $1. So I'm going to ask you, if you found value in the videos, could you donate $1 to the channel? This is going to help me invest in better equipment. It's going to help me put more time into the videos. It's going to help me edit the videos again so that we can get this message out to as many people as possible. I'm almost up to 1,000 subscribers. That's going to really be a pivotal point. And so I'm going to ask for the subscribers of this channel to be like investors. If you do send me $1, email me your name, and of course we will be sending you quarterly reports actually on what we're doing on the channel. You're going to be an investor in the channel. Again, just $1. And I'm going to put this link for Buy Me a Coffee, which is the account to which you can donate, and also put my PayPal account, my business account, in the description. You can send me the dollar by those links, and I thank you very much. It's going to be sort of a test as to are we valuing the channel. So thank you so much. And now just to get into the nitty-gritty here, guys. What the paradigm that I'm trying to get you to get in harmony with is what many of the great spiritual teachers talk about. It's what Joe Dispenza highlights a lot about. It's what Abraham Hicks talks about. And that is this, guys. More and more, depending upon the status quo, or just assuming that things are going to be the way they were, that might have worked in the past age, what people call the Pisces age. You see, there's this theory that in this century, the last 50 years up until now, that we've passed from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. And whether or not you believe that, it's a good model for what is indeed going on, just because of the technical advances, guys, just because of where society's been going over the last few years. So the age of Pisces, according to these analysts, was an age that you could hide things, you could get by with just coasting, you didn't really have to do your own intellectual work, you didn't have to do any inner work, you didn't really have to know who you were, you could just coast and work the way you'd been working all of your life and retire and so on and so forth. Well, the age of Aquarius turns all of that upside down. In the age of Aquarius, we're basically naked in a psychological and spiritual sense. You can't really lie anymore, guys. I could lie to you, but you could easily, probably through a background check or a search, figure out that I was lying. You could do that with almost everybody now because all of the data and information is out there. In fact, we're inundated and flooded with data. And so this age is one in which you can't lie, The truth is going to come out. It's going to be what you know and what you practice that's going to be the only arbiter of how you're going to live. Jobs don't last very long, guys. The average job is no longer lasting 30 years, it's lasting 2 years. People are going to have to change careers. Like many of the interview guests that I've had, like Jim Rogers, the author David Allen, the author of Getting Things Done, or GTD, said. Trevor Blake is well aware that companies are basically these big companies, and you'll see in the next 10 years, are going away, and it's going to be moving towards a being your own boss. It's going to be moving towards a contractor economy. So actually, these tools that we're giving you in this channel are not going to be an option anymore, guys. They're going to be necessary. And I believe we're at the forefront of teaching these tools. And the reason why I go into spirituality, the reason why I go into philosophy and interiorism, is because it's the only constant, guys. We're in the unknown, is what Joe Dispenza talks about. Entering into the unknown and feeling comfortable with the unknown. And an interview I was watching just yesterday sort of drove this home with me. And many of you are going to say, what the heck does this have to do with what you're talking about? You'll see here. But Tucker Carlson, as many of you know, is a great interviewer. He interviewed Eric Prince, who was the founder of Blackwater. And believe me, I have no love for Blackwater. At least I had not. But I didn't know a lot about Eric Prince. For example, Eric Prince studied Austrian economics. He went to Hillsdale College, and he studied the principles of Austrian economics. In fact, he traveled through Eastern Europe with Lew Rockwell and members of the Mises Institute, guys. His whole impetus to found a private military group was inspired by Austrian economics. And we may agree or disagree with their actions, but certainly there's been proof that private initiative is always more efficient than government initiative because, government initiative doesn't have to worry about the profit motive. But that's another talk for another day. He has some deep insights. He's talking about politics and warfare, but I want you to see how this ties in with business and living free. And I just wanted you to hear or see this clip from this interview that we did here, or that he did. And I just want you to listen to this and see how it ties in with what we've been talking about here on the channel.
Artillery is still the king of battle, as the Ukrainians are learning the hard way. And the Russians have gone from, if you shot at the Russians a year and a half ago, it would take them about an hour and a half to shoot back accurately. Yes. To geolocate and to coordinate with their fire control centers to shoot back.
Just take out battle and put in business and living free.
So they've learned, and they're coordinating, and they've gotten a lot better. And it is wrong for us to assume that our kung fu is all that good right now.
And what role do drones play going forward, to the extent you can predict and imagine it?
Drones, guys. Independent.
Significant. People say the tank is dead, it's gone forever. It will go just like chariots were the attack helicopter of 2,000 years ago. There'll still be a role for tanks, but people are going to have to figure out how to knock down the swarms of incoming drones,
which are relatively cheap and inexpensive, guys,
etc. It is always going to, warfare is going to ebb and flow, but the ability to program very sophisticated devices that fly very fast, that are very hard to kill. The first strategic offset after World War II was nuclear weapons.
Yes.
We had nukes, then the Russians did, and then it was about tonnage.
Now everyone has
the second offset was precision weaponry. Now everybody has precision weaponry.
Now everyone has it.
So I would argue that the third offset that the U.S. should try to pursue dominance, and we're far from it, is in an AI drone innovation application. And I would say the most innovation that's happened has been in Ukraine and Russia right now.
And it's going to be harder to do. So guys, again, we're going to be saying, well, why the heck did he play that? But think about this, guys. Eric Prince is a very smart guy. He knows exactly what's going on in geopolitics and warfare. How do we put this to the level of what we're trying to do on this channel, living free, guys? Well, everybody's going to have what you have due to quote-unquote AI, and I still don't believe it's AI, guys. I think it's just more sophisticated programming. I don't think AI is ever going to reach the level of sentience, and we can see in 15, 20 years whether I'm right or not, but more sophisticated technology is becoming cheaper and cheaper simply because of the quantity of it, the fact that we can create unlimited iterations of it, and of course we're going to run into a bottleneck with the processing capabilities. But probably AI can solve that as well. What does that mean, guys? Just like with the drones. So now you have the United States, which is the most powerful military power in the world, or was, can now get defeated or close to defeated with drones, which are relatively cheap to print and make and so on and so forth. What does that mean? The playing ground is level. And a lot of the moats, Warren Buffett talks about you want to invest in a business with a good moat. A lot of those are going away, which means what? You cannot just expect that a company is going to exist in its present iteration for 100 years and then not have to do anything, which means what? Which means it's getting more and more clear what Ludwig von Mises said 100 years ago, which is that you constantly have to go every single day and prove yourself in the market. You're not going to be able to coast anymore. Now, that's in the physical 3D. Where you can coast is by going within, going into the quantum, and going into that spiritual, and then from that spiritual will flow everything that you need. In fact, you're not going to be able to move fast enough on the outer just by yourself, just using outer resources. That's why I believe, ladies and gentlemen, humanity is being forced to make a shift. It's going to have to make a shift inward. Because if you're every day or every moment having to go create new things, go out to the market, go and prove yourself on the market, that's going to be overwhelming, and that's no way to live. But if you can live within, then that unlimited storehouse of abundance is going to produce for you without. That's why we're teaching the principles of interiorism that we teach on this channel, guys. It's not just to pontificate. It's not a luxury anymore. It's going to become an obligation, because the outer, if you're just living on this film roll, it's crumbling. As it must, guys. It follows a certain internal logic. If technology is to advance and advance and advance in an exponentially accelerating rate, guys, eventually there's going to come a point where it takes over and it gets faster than anyone can manage. Well, again, the only option is going to be going within. That's why the principles of this channel are going to be extremely important. That's why we want to get this message out there. That's why we want to get you off the prison grid now, because those who are stuck and trapped in the paradigm of the prison grid are going to find a very hard time eking out a living in these days to come. Again, this is not to disturb anybody. This is to encourage you to take the principles that we are putting out on this channel, internalize them, and actually go into the unknown. Joe Dispenza talks about stepping out into the unknown. You can do it through meditation. You can do it through going into the quantum, because for a lot of us, taking our thoughts and just surrendering them to the quantum reality is going to be stepping into the unknown. Not relying on our 3D logic, for a lot of us, is going into the unknown. It's going to be that unknown super logic, which is then going to allow us to best apply our logic when that time comes. It's going into the unknown. So go into the unknown often, guys. Meditate as much as you can every day, suggestively in the morning. And we're going to be talking on this channel about the principles of interiorism and how you can apply them to living free right now, guys, and to not only surviving, but thriving in the challenging days ahead. And all of the great people of business and military are talking about this is what's coming. So thank you guys so much. Remember, I am doing coaching calls. I will guide you step by step through these modalities, and we will accomplish more in weeks than many people accomplish in years. I will put my email in the description. I will put those links in the description. If you find value in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and we would ask you to donate $1 so that we can further the work of this channel. Much love and appreciation, guys. This is Javier with the real JavierNovoaii, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.